Good evening to all. I'm honored to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished resource person, our respected head of the department, and all the brilliant minds joining us for the sixth day online faculty development program on generative AI in shaping industry 6.0. On behalf of our Department of Computer Applications, Congo Arts and Science College has delighted to welcome all the participants from various institutions to attend the AICT training and learning ATAL Academy. Is a testament to our program to staying at the forefront of technological advancements. It is my honor to invite our distinguished resource person, Dr. Ramani Selvanambi, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science and Engineering, Vellore Institute of Technology, to deliver the session address. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce the eminent resource person joining us today. Dr. Ramani Selvanambi is Associate Professor in the School of Computing Science and Engineering at Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore, India. He graduated BE in Computer Science and Engineering from Madras University and MTech Computer Science and Engineering from Bharatidasan University and PhD in Computer Science and Engineering from Vellore Institute of Technology, Vellore. He has 15 years of experience in teaching and 2 years of experience in the consultancy and software industry. Sir have published about 50 research papers in international journals on machine learning in healthcare, nature-inspired algorithms, cybersecurity. His research interest includes machine learning, database systems, optimization techniques, and cybersecurity. Sir is a senior member in an IEEE, professional member in ACM, and a member in other technical societies. With his vast knowledge and expertise, we are sure this session will be enriching and insightful. Sir, we warmly welcome you to share your thoughts on generative AI in e-commerce strategies. Welcome you, sir. Now the session yours.
Thank you, sir. Very good evening to all the participants. At the outset, I would like to thank the co-host and the host, the sponsors of this ATAL FDP for giving me this opportunity to have a session on generative AI and e-commerce strategies. So let me first share my screen. So is my screen visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we'll get started. Once again, a very good evening to all the participants. Like our topic for the session today is generative AI and e-commerce strategies. So what exactly like we are going to look into this topic? So we finally end up knowing like what exactly the strategies that is used behind e-commerce, like most of the e-commerce websites or e-commerce organizations basically, how they really apply AI into their business and how the strategies given by the AI develops their business overall. To start with, so you have been discussing about the generative AI for the past 3 days. Like you'll be having a very good idea about like what is generative AI, like how it is different from AI. So to begin with, I'll just give a 10 minutes of introduction to what exactly is generative AI. From there on, I'll take on to the e-commerce strategies. So in today's presentation, so this is going to be my roadmap, like what exactly we're going to discuss upon. So introduction to generative AI first, then what are the key technologies? So I'll be just giving you the overview of what exactly it is, since we have learned about this like in all 3 days so far, and what are the benefits and applications of generative AI, and what are the various ethical considerations that is to be considered like while we use AI. And we'll move on to e-commerce, and finally to end with like we'll know what are the various AI tools that are really used in e-commerce, and I can give you some demonstration of one or two tools on AI, how exactly this is applied in e-commerce. So that is all we are going to have in our session today. So introduction to generative AI. So by this time, like you know the definition of what exactly generative AI is, right? We have AI and within that like we have ML, and within that like we have DL. So this generative AI, we call it as a subset of artificial intelligence techniques, so which mainly focus on creating a new content. So this generative AI by itself, when you use some learning, so it makes use of that learning and it tries to create a new content on its own. It could be a text, it could be an image, or it could be a music, or anything else, right? Based upon the learning, like what you are giving, based upon the data or historical data, this generative AI will be able to generate a new data or new content for you. So how it is actually doing it, like what is behind the working principles of this? Like we use deep learning models basically for generative AI to develop the content. So what are the various architectures that we have? So we have GAN, so we call that as a generative adversarial networks, and VAE, variational autoencoders. So these two architectures are mainly capable of mimicking or showing us like what exactly the real world data is. So it helps us in automating our creativity and personalizing like our task, like what exactly we are trying to do. So this generative AI helps us to create a new content. So that is how like I put it in very short, like how the generative AI is going to be helpful. And what are the key technologies behind it? So we have LLMs, we call it as a large language models. So generating coherent and contextually relevant text. So based upon the input that we give for making it to learn. So it could be a very massive data sets. So the architecture, what we can use here is a transformer architecture. So mainly when we talk about natural language processing, so we use this transformer architecture in LLM models. So example for LLM models, as we are very well aware of it, like we commonly use ChatGPT nowadays, GitHub's Copilot are some of the examples like where exactly like you make use of large language models. So this helps us in generating the text. If you want to make any question answering, you can use it. Or if you want to do any sentimental analysis, so if you want to know like how the sentimental analysis is properly being done to show like what is positive sentiment, what is negative sentiment, and the neutral sentiments. So this can be possible by using a large language models. One of the very first key technologies in generative AI. And next is GAN, generative adversarial networks. So here we actually have two neural network architectures. Basically, you know like how neural network architecture works, right? So we'll be having an input layer, we'll be having a hidden layer with so many neurons, and we'll be having an output layer. So this is a simple neural network architecture, how it looks like, right? So in GAN, so you will be having two neural network architectures. So one is used for generating the image, another one is for discriminating the image. So these two will fight or will compete until we get a fake image to look like a real image. Right? I'll show you a picture like how exactly it works. So that is how like GAN works. And next is diffusion models. Say we take an image, so it is actually put with lot of noise, right? Lot of noise. Then we try to denoise it, right? Denoise it to have a perfect image. So this reverse process of denoising the noisy image is done by using a diffusion model. So this is being done iteratively, so that like you will be able to generate a very high quality data. So this is mainly used for image generation. So these are the key technologies behind generative AI. So how you can show how LLM works, right? Let's say as a user, we wanted to get some response from the generative AI. So we ask some question or give some prompt. So you must be aware of like what exactly is prompt, like what is the text that we are trying to give to exactly get like the respected output. We call it as a prompt. So the AI, it has to understand the input or interpret the input like what we are giving, and it has to understand the concept, context in which like we are trying to give the input, and then it has to find the best response. So finding the best response is what like the generative AI is going to do until the user is satisfied with the response like what is given. So the AI is going to craft the answer, and it is going to polish the response so that user exactly gets like what he wants or she wants. So this is the overall picture of like how LLM works. To put it in the technical words, like when the user gives the input, the tokenization happens, then embedding happens, then contextualization happens, then generation of the content happens, and the response is polished and it is given back to the user. So this tokenization, embedding, and this contextualization is actually part of NLP. So I really do not have to explain like what exactly is tokenization and embedding and all. So if you know what exactly NLP does, in doing the sentimental analysis, like we should be able to understand these particular terminologies. So this is in short like how LLM works. So next coming to GAN. So I have two different figures to illustrate like how GAN works here. Say the user wants to give some random input. Basically, it is going to be a image. So that image is obviously going to be a fake image and not a real image, or you can call it as a generated image. So the generated model is actually going to help in generating the images, and the discriminated model is going to find what is the loss that is there in the generated image. So the discriminator model will try to maximize the loss, whereas the generator model will try to minimize the loss. So that is a competition that is going to happen between generator model and the discriminator model. So what exactly the model that I'm talking about? The model is neural network architecture, right? It is a simple neural network architecture for generator, and similarly for discriminator, you'll be having a neural network architecture. So the classification is going to done until the real image and the fake image, they are almost similar or same, right? Until then, this loss calculation is going to be repeated and the classification process is going to be iterated. So this is a simple flowchart kind of representation of how GAN works. So now let us see in terms of figure, like what exactly happens. So the deep learning model is behind because whenever you want to process any image, like we'll be obviously using a deep learning model, right? We are using some neural network architecture based upon the deep learning models. Right? So this is the fake image, and so here we are trying to have a real image. So this fake image, we are trying to develop. We will be trying to develop this fake image or try to improvise the fake image so that it is 99% or even 100% looks like a real image. So what we do, we try to apply the backpropagation on the neural network. So this discriminative model will try to find the maximum loss that is there with respect to the real image and the fake image. And this generative model will try to improvise on generating the images which could be closer to the real image. So this is what GAN does. The illustration of how exactly this works in case of image. The third technology is about diffusion models. So diffusion model is a very interesting topic actually. So you try to give a text and you want to have an image with respect to the text like what you give. So example here, a pig wearing a top hat and a pink bow tie. Right? This is the text that we are giving. We expect the AI to produce the image with respect to the text what we give. Right? So the diffusion models will work on an image like which has more noises. Right? We call it as forward pass and backward pass basically. So in the backward pass is what exactly is done in the diffusion models. We will try to denoise it so that like we'll be having a better picture. So we have a picture that is generated in different resolutions probably, like 64 by 64 cross 64 or 256 cross 256 and 1024 by 1024. So whatever the resolution that you want, the diffusion models will be able to produce in the output given only the text and no image is given as the input here because the model is already learned from so many images that is used to try or the features of the images as given as the input for learning. Right? So based upon that training, like we should be able to produce output for the given text. So these are the three important technologies that is behind the generative AI. Now let us try to contrast what is the difference between generative AI and the traditional AI. So generative AI, as it is pointed out in the very first point in my definition, it is going to create a new content, right? So you just tell what content exactly you want. It gives you the creative content for you. And the traditional AI, so if you are giving some existing data, it will help you to make predictions based upon the existing data. So you can use it for classification or prediction. Whereas generative AI, it generally focuses on preparing a new data or generating a new data. Right? Some of the examples, text generation and image creation are examples of generative AI. Spam detection and recommendation systems could be example for traditional AI, or you can very well say this as an example for machine learning as well. So now, having understood like what is the difference between generative AI and the traditional AI, so what exactly is the benefits of generative AI? So why should we have to go for generative AI when we have the traditional AI? So one reason is because of the speed. You could able to see like we probably using generative AI in our day-to-day activities, right? So we are so frequently using that we could able to see like when we do some question, it generates the content so quickly for us. So the speed is the important factor, the important benefits, right? of generative AI. And second thing is personalization. So with respect to the user, it tailors the result, and based upon the preferences or the behaviors of the users, it gives you the result. So that is called as personalization. And third, automation. So you can use generative AI for automatically creating the content and for product recommendations. Having said product recommendations, I'm slowly moving on to the e-commerce, like what exactly our session title for today. So before getting into that topic, let us see like what are the various limitations and challenges that we have in generative AI. First thing is data dependency. So for the generative AI to perform better, so you need a very high quality data set so that whatever the content that is being generated by the generative AI, it is effectively done. So you need a very large or massive data set. That's the first point. So we are dependent on the data. Second, ethical concerns. So it is potential for bias. Some AIs, it gives you biased result, right? Maybe it will try to fetch the result from few websites and leave out some important information even if it is available in some of the other websites. So potential for bias is there. So biased information will be given as the output. Sometimes like it misuses, and unethical content generation is also possible. So this is the second limitation of generative AI. And third is the risk of misleading content. So you could able to see under ChatGPT, like whatever the content that is given, there is a disclaimer that it is not 100% accurate or the result is not accurate. So it tells you that you cannot completely rely on AI, right? You have to verify yourself. So the results may not be accurate or it cannot be reliable as well. So now, how or why generative AI is so important or matters in e-commerce? So in our day-to-day activities, we do all our shoppings or most of our shoppings via e-commerce websites. For example, it could be Amazon, Flipkart, Shopify, or Meesho, etc. Right? So we very rarely go to the physical stores to buy any products or items. Right? So for our convenience, we have our e-commerce websites. We just go click add to the cart and buy it. Right? So what makes the user to like the e-commerce websites? Right? In order to catch the attention of the users, what AI is going to play, in what way the AI is going to help the organization to attract the users and to retain the users using their application or e-commerce websites for a longer period of time. So that is how the generative AI is so useful in e-commerce because it addresses so many key challenges. They are so the demand for personalized content at scale. So there are n number of users, billions of users who are using e-commerce. But if you see every e-commerce website for every user, it shows their personalized content. It is not something that is shown for all the users in common. You would be able to realize it when you so frequently using the e-commerce websites. The first point is demand for personalized content. And second, the need for faster and more efficient content creations. If you are suppose employing a particular person for doing all these content creations, you can see like how the delay is going to be or how effective it is going to be. Unless the person who you are appointing has to be really creative to come up with the content creations. Now we do not have that problem with AI. AI will give you a very creative content. Only thing is the prompt what you are going to give for generating is so important. And final thing is enhancing the customer interactions through dynamic AI generated content. So if you wanted to know like the description of a product or if you want to promote your product, you really do not have to sit and write the descriptions for the product, each and every product, because like you will be having thousands and thousands of product website. You cannot sit and write descriptions for each and every product. Or if you want to promote, you cannot write the descriptions for each and every product. So AI is of course very much needed for creating the product descriptions and also promoting the product. So this is a simple stat that I have taken from various sources. So before I could use all those stats, I just wanted to give the courtesy to all the sources from where I have taken the images, because like most of the images like what I'm going to show throughout my PPT is taken from different sources, right? So according to Gartner's prediction, by 2020, 60% of the organizations were expected to adopt AI. Now we are in 2025. I have the stats for. So today AI has driven a tidal shift in e-commerce. So whether it is business to business or B2C, AI is transforming the personalized product recommendations and for smart logistics, right? For shipping all those products, all the inventories, etc. The critical question that we have to ask as an organization, so whether we have to use a traditional e-commerce or we have to embrace the AI powered solutions. We really do not have to think answering this question. We of course have to embrace the power of AI, which is really helping the e-commerce nowadays for improvising their business and their profits. The second stats what I'm going to show now. So this is with respect to the present year we are in now. So around 2.77 billion people are using the online shopping globally, right? So in 2025, 21% of the retail purchases are expected to take place online only. This raises the share to 22.6% by 2027. So this prediction is already done. This is global information. So the e-commerce sales, if you take like it is going to surpass 6.8 trillion in 2025. So there are already over 28 million e-commerce stores globally available. You can still see the stores getting increased year after year. The 52% of online shoppers look for products internationally, right? So we are not actually looking the country-based products. We are even looking for the international products. So 33% of shoppers they shop online at least once in a week. 99% of the customers look for reviews when they shop online. So these are the stats that I have taken from a particular websites. So this is with respect to the year 2025. And this graph will tell you the increase in the percentage of purchases, right, that is made year after year. Now 2027, we are expected to have 22.6%. So this is the stat that is being taken globally. The e-commerce sales, that is how it is going to be. So how they could able to predict this 22.6%? This is purely because of the involvement or the use of AI in the e-commerce applications on the websites. So the retailers, they are facing a very difficult task. One is retaining the customers. They wanted to improvise their business, and in turn, they wanted to grow their business or the organization by retaining the customers. Right? They wanted to compete with the other e-commerce organizations in the market. Right? So 33% of the world population now shop online because of the flexibility they have and because of the hectic tasks that they have day to day. Right? So over 70% of the e-commerce businesses they use AI, but still there are few more organizations who are trying to use AI into their operations and for customer interactions. So why should we use AI? It is of course going to be helpful in three main areas. One is data-driven insights, customer experience enhancement, and automation. So AI gives us a very good support in these main areas. So the role of AI in modern e-commerce, when we talk about the applications of AI, so we personally talk about the product recommendations that every user gets, and the chatbots are the virtual assistants that we have in any applications, inventories, and pricing optimization. So what is pricing optimization? You get to see the price is not constant every day. Suppose like if you are seeing the price of a particular product today, you will see like there is a decrease in the price or there is an increase in the price tomorrow, right? So is the organization manually changing the price for each and every product? Answer is straight away no. They are using AI, they are seeing what is the price of each and every product the other e-commerce websites they are displaying in order to compete in the market and to have their customers using their product. They will try to use AI in making the pricing dynamic, right? And finally, fraud detection and security measures. So every e-commerce website may have or will have a fraud detection because whatever the transaction that is happening, it should be free from fraudulent transactions, and also the important information about the credit cards or any transaction that every user do, it has to be securely stored, right? So that security measures must also be ensured. So we will be having a human involved in it, but the AI will try to analyze the traffic. It will try to analyze the transaction that is happening. Every transaction that is done by the user is being monitored, and if there is anything that is found to be anomaly, it is immediately informed to the user to cross-verify whether it is being done by the user or not. So AI and e-commerce. This is a simple picture which will tell you the actual shopping that you do by using any application. Let us say, let us take Amazon for example. right? Um, I'm not actually promoting Amazon here. Just for example, like we are taking Amazon. So we try to search for a particular product, right? We browse the e-commerce website, we search for a particular product. Now, the recommendation that comes in, right, after you start searching for a particular product, so AI starts playing its role. So it gives you some recommendation, maybe similar to that particular product, or maybe some other product like you may want to buy. Right? After the recommendation is done, you click on a particular product, you add a cart, right? And then comes the AI virtual assistant. Suppose if you need any help in buying those products, the virtual assistants will try to help you, like if you wanted to have any customer query or anything. Then you place your order, then the chatbots comes in. Next, finally, like we'll be able to make the payment and check out. Within these transactions, within buying one particular product or adding multiple products to the cart and buying, you see three different AIs are playing their role. One is for recommendation, an AI-based virtual assistant for assisting your entire process of buying a product. Then a chatbot, like if you want to chat with the customer or any executive, like you can use chatbot, right? So these are the different AIs that is coming into play for just buying a product in a e-commerce websites. So in order to stay in the competition, in the market competition, so AI is playing a very definite role like in the e-commerce applications. Let us see one by one. First one is personalized product recommendations. So here, what is the role of AI? So now on, whatever the activities that we will be doing in e-commerce websites, right? In what way AI is actually supporting the user, and in turn supporting the organizations for improvising the business. That is what like we are going to see for the next half an hour, right? So first is personalized market recommendations or the product recommendations. So what AI is going to do? So it is going to analyze the customer's browsing history, past purchases, the preferences what the user has, and it is going to suggest a product like what will be exactly fitting for that particular user. So this increases the customer's engagement, improvises the sales, and helps the business of the organization. Now, I'm just going to give you a simple example of how AI is going to do this, right? Whereas for the other things, like we'll be able to understand that there will be different agents that is going to be doing all these activities. So if I just say a theory, like you will not be able to understand. So you just going to understand how the product recommendation is given by the generative AI, right? So now, as you see in this picture, so this is taken from the website called as Akira, right? So now on the top, so you have a historical sales data,
Sir,
and yes, please.
sorry to disturb you.
Yeah,
Sir, your screen is not in full screen mode.
I'm sorry. Is it visible now, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
No. Let me continue, sir.
Yeah, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. So now we are talking about a product recommendations, right? So when I say EA is doing the product recommendation, you vaguely understand like how it is done. Now with this figure, we should be able to understand like how many agents, how many AI agents are really involved in just giving you a product recommendation, right? So on the top, we have a historical sales data, which is taken from a product database, right? And we have a customer relationship management data. We call it a CRM in short, right? So having these two data, this is given to LLM, or we can call it as an AI model, right? So LLM is one AI agent, which is going to convert all those data into a knowledge graph, right? So this is one particular agent working on the historical data, and that is given as the input to another AI agent, where that agent is going to integrate all those data, and it is going to perform ETL processing. You know what is ETL? You might have learned this in database or data mining: extract, transform, and load. That is what we say, right? So it extracts the data from the knowledge graph, it transforms, and it loads the data for further validation. So this is done by one AI agent. And next, the agent passes on the data to another agent for processing. So now this AI agent is going to analyze the data to understand like what is the behavior of the customer and what is the current market trend. After analyzing this, this result is given to the another AI agent for generating the content and for optimization. So one is the content is going to be generated and the description is going to be generated for the content, like what it is going to give for the user. And next thing is search engine optimization, right? So now whatever the product that you are looking at, right? So this particular product is of user's interest. So any website that you are trying to look for, that particular website has to come on top, right? Showing this product for you, right? So that is actually search engine optimization. This actually makes a particular website to come on top. This is done by one different agent, right? And to my left, I have one more agent for personalization. So what exactly it does? It is going to recommend, right? It is going to recommend. So it takes the user preferences. It recommends, okay, user may be interested in this particular product or item as well, and it is going to give it to this AI agent. So now here, before the content gets generated, the input comes to this agent from two different ends. One is from AA agent, like which does the personalization, and one which does the AA agent does for the analysis, right? So both these informations comes into the content creation. After the content is created and it is optimized, so it is given for the user. Now it is not just stops there. Now the result that is being given to the user, whether it is the right result or not, we have to use the performance metrics for evaluate it. Right? And we have something called as ROI analysis, which is called as return on investment analysis. So we have a formula for that, but I am not showing you the formula. The formula may vary by what different organization uses, but I prefer, I think that like it could be a standard formula. The rate of return on investment, it actually analyzes whether the user who has actually got the personalized recommendation, whether the user has gone on to buy that particular product, and because of that, whether the revenue of the organization is increased or not. That is what that ROI analysis happens. And after this, the customer behavior is again going to take place from the top to the bottom. This is going to be iterated. So these many AI agents are working behind in just giving you the personalized recommendation. We sometimes get irritated to see the personalized recommendation given by the e-commerce websites, right? We just close it and go, right? But these many AIs are working behind just to give the person recommendations. When you close it, it instantly gives another recommendations, or it will ask you some question like, are you really not interested, or you do want to give us some other recommendations of your choice, right? Based upon your reply, it will try to give you the personalized recommendation of the products. Next comes the intelligent chatbots and virtual assistant. So this chatbots, it's going to work 24/7, right? So we do have executives like who will be able to answer all your queries working 24/7. In addition to that, AI. So instantly, like you will not be able to connect with the customer executives like who speaks to you. Before that, like AI will try to help you or answer the questions and satisfy your purchase or any items like whatever that you buy. If you have any difficulties in doing it, maybe we can say trying to resolve whatever the issues that is possible to be resolved by the chatbots and the virtual assistant. I'll tell you like what is the difference between chatbot and the virtual assistant. So they handle all your queries, they suggest products, they guide through all the process like what you are doing through your purchase, so that it increases or improvises the customer experience. So here are some of the differences of chatbots and virtual assistant. The main differences, we use NLP for chatbots, like which is actually powered by machine learning, right, and AI. On the other hand, for virtual assistants, we use natural languaging, natural learning unit, right? NLU, we call it as NLU, right? NLU is actually a subpart of NLP, right? So in case of intelligence level, chatbots are not very much proficient, whereas BAs will be able to understand human language. Chatbots just assist. A virtual assistant help users perform everyday tasks. So chatbots are more deployed in the websites. So virtual assistants are more often integrated into your smart devices, for example, Alexa or any IoT devices may it be. Virtual assistants are part of it, right? So virtual assistants doesn't need any interface, whereas chatbots it needs some user interfaces, as it is actually part of websites or any apps. So these are some of the differences of chatbots and VA virtual assistants. So AI generated product descriptions. As we have already seen, the AI is going to do the product descriptions, right? Not manually done. AI will describe the product. Suppose like if a new inclusion of products comes into e-commerce websites, we just tell the AI that this is the product and you have to write the description for 2 lines or 3 lines about the product, or you want to write the complete spec of the particular product. So AI will uniquely create and give it for you. You just need to verify, and if you want to make any minor changes to it, you make the changes and make the description available for the user to see to it. So it reduces the human work on spending too much of time in manually writing the descriptions for each product. So how it actually happens? So I just say that like there is an AI which does it, right? Maybe by showing the diagram like what I shown you before, you could have understand. So how much of work is done behind for making an AI to do this, right? So here NLP is basically used for understanding the concept that is given by the user for a particular product. It has to understand the sentiment, the customer reviews, and according to that, like it has to give you the description, right? So now here it involves both human creativity and actually the AI creativity to work together, right? It generates metadata, it gives you bullet points, it generates FAQs as well, right? Alongside writing the descriptions. It may be electronics, or it can be a fashion industry, or it could be a home decor, right? For any industries, like it is used. So there is a small typo in this. It is evoking ambience. It is not ambulance and lifestyle, right? For home decor, it is evoking the ambience of how the home can look like or how the lifestyle can be looking like. So you can use AI for that. Then coming to dynamic pricing strategies, the organizations, they're not going to change the price of each and every product manually because the demand of the product, it fluctuates day by day, right? They try to analyze, so what is the chance of buying a particular product during a year, right? Maybe we can take a seasonal pricing. Suppose like if Diwali is a season, that time the pricing of a particular product can be increased or it could be decreased according to the organization's view on how the market will demand for a particular product, right? So purchasing, suppose like if I put the price of 100 rupees a day, right, on today, right, tomorrow like it may be changed to 105, right? And you would have witnessed, say for example, like if I'm using Amazon, I try to add a product into my cart, but I'm not buying it today. I just leave it 1 or 2 days. When you come back and see, there are some changes in the price, right? So there are two ways like you could able to see the price changes. Maybe the organization wants you to buy the product, in that case they can reduce the price of the product, right? Or because of the demand of the particular product, they may increase the price. So you could have seen that the price has been changed. Like if you want to buy, like you have to again choose the product or something, right? So that is what the dynamic pricing strategies is. So AI is mainly used for analyzing all these so that the optimal pricing is kept. It is a win-win situation for both the consumer or the customer and as well as for the organization. So the demand is taken into account, the availability is taken into account, the forecast analysis is already done, and the competitors is also taken into account before fixing a price. Personalized marketing campaigns. So you see these ads, no, that is coming up. So this is a tips or examples. So it will tell you that this much of reduction for a particular product, even though like you have not performed a search in the recent past. If you have done it 1 or 2 months before, still it gives you the tips and examples for those particular search like what you have done, right? So this is personalized marketing campaigns. So I'll tell you a website or AI tool which can be used for making your personalized marketing campaigns. So for that, you should be a organization, have a proper website, and you have to use that AI tool for creating the campaigns for your websites. I'll show you a demo on that. So next, customer sentiment analysis. So this is a very good topic in NLP, how sentiment analysis works. Even though it is a very old topic, it is still in research. Many people are still working on the sentiment analysis, starting from a data collection, data pre-processing, cleaning the text such as tokenization, embedding, summarization, and seeing the insights of those data are all helpful to understand what exactly the customer thinks about. So we mainly use what is the review that is being posted by different customers, and accordingly, like we have to work on the positivity of the image and how we can make the product which can be given to the customer at utmost satisfaction. And this is what like we are seeing in the recent past, AI in the visual search and image generation. So the only drawback that we have in buying in the e-commerce websites is that we are not sure like whether we try to buy a product, whether we fixes or not, right? So that is the main concern of any buyer who wants to buy the product, right? So what they wanted to see, they wanted to see something as an interface, like where they can see themselves wearing those particular clothes or any product they're trying to buy. So this will attract the users, gives the customer engagement in buying the product, whether it fits or not, and they will definitely go on to buy the product once they have the visual try on it, right? So AI can generate the images, and on the images, like you can try on the products like what you want to buy, right? And finalize you can whether you want to buy it or not. It could be a product, it could be a furniture, it could be a simple clothing, etc. Right? So we started using this, like it's all because of AI, like what we use nowadays. And fraud detection and security. So this was already pointed out. So here we will be mainly using a machine learning, which is combined with AI technology. Right? Say I am a user who is trying to buy a particular product. Right? I have bought it for 10,000 rupees, and immediately I perform one more transaction for 25,000 rupees, and immediately I perform one more transaction for 15,000 rupees. Right? So now what AI does, as a user, I would be having a pattern of buying. Say I buy once in a month or once in a week. It tries to analyze the transactions of a customer. After the saying that, so this is a very odd transaction. So this much amount of is being transacted in a particular J, right? So this looks anomaly, right? The machine learning will try to allow the user that there is something that is happening abnormal, whether you are the right person who is actually performing the financial transaction. So this is given to the organization. Now the organization will allow the user to take appropriate actions. So monitoring and auditing is all happens in the fraud detection. So AI plays a very good role in it. Next comes the supply chain optimization. So now it's all about a user getting into the e-commerce websites, trying to buy a product, and once the product is being delivered, right, whether the user is really satisfied with the product or not. So this delivery process, how it happens, right? That is we call it about supply chain optimization. So we predict the demand and we try to keep those many products in advance so that the user is not put on to wait for a very longer period of time. And what is the optimal delivery routes? Now we have a Prime in Amazon, like where you get to get your products in a single day or within 2 days, for example, right? So this inventory management is taken care by the AI to make it as automation process, so which improvises the efficiency, it reduces the cost, it ensures the timely deliverables of the products and contributing to the customer satisfaction. So here AI plays a very vital role in the supply chains also. And next is voice commerce integration. So slowly, as we start using the technology, we as a people, we can say like we are becoming lazy just to type what exactly we want. So instead of typing, we want to use the microphone, say Alexa or Google Assistant, I want this product, show me that product. So basically, like, we want to go hands-free. We are feeling lazy enough to type something for the product we are looking for. So voice commerce integration came into picture. So you say something, the product is being displayed, you just click add to the cart and you go on to buy it, transforming your shopping experience. And next, hyper personalized shopping journeys. So here the AI is going to analyze each and every activity what the customer does, browsing behavior, purchase history, preferences, right? And creating the personalized shopping experience for the user. So the e-commerce platforms will try to tailor the products of your need, the content what it is shown to the user, and how it can actually engage the customer, because this is a very hectic task or very difficult task for any organization or e-commerce websites just to make the customer retaining in using the application or not moving on to some other e-commerce applications. At the same time, they have to satisfy the customer's needs also. This is what we call it as a hyper-personalized shopping journeys. Now, how can we actually retain the customers? You get to see there are some loyalty programs that is being offered by the e-commerce websites, by the organizations in fact, right? So they give you some loyalty programs, so which is personalized. Not all the users will get it. They will try to give some additional benefits or offers for users based upon their customers' purchasing behavior. If the user is having a habit of buying some X amount periodically or quite often, then the customer will get more offers, right? Or the rewards we can say, right? So how these rewards are decided? So the rewards are actually set. A template is already created. Now based upon the customer's behavior, the AI just shows that particular reward for the user, right? It's not the reward is being generated at that point of time. The rewards are already generated, and some rewards, whichever that matches with the customer behavior, it shows that rewards, or the discounts, or the incentive points based upon the repeat purchases. This is what we call it as the loyalty programs. So AI can be used for that too. And real-time conversational commerce. So you need some help in buying a product. See, as a user, as a layman, I do not have a very good idea about the product, like what I wanted to buy. So I do not have any friends to suggest me like what I have to buy. So I need somebody to help me in this regard. So I go for live chat, or I can use chatbot, or I can use message apps. Right? Even the WhatsApp is having some chat options now, like where you can go on to chat and buying a product, but it is not effective. It will just give you the options to select, right? So chatbots plays by using those messaging apps. Whereas voice assistant, you can use any IoT devices or smart devices where the user can be directed to talk to the virtual assistants to buy a product. So real-time conversational experience the user will get while using it. Right? They feel that as if they are talking to some real person who is helping them in doing all the tasks. So one important thing is it's not just one customer is attended at a time, it is multiple customers attended at a time. Then AR VR experiences with AI. Say you wanted to buy a spectacle, right, from a lens card. So anybody like you has used a lens card website will be able to understand like what I'm trying to say. You do not have to go to the lens card shop in person. You open their websites. You try to choose a spectacle model like what you wanted to use, right? You try to wear it on the screen, like you'll be able to see. It will just ask you to take the image of yours. Once you take the image, it will try to fit on the spectacle on your face, and you see like whichever you fits on, you can instantly buy it. So customers, they are actually visualizing it in real time how it exactly looks on the user, right? So it could be a spectacle, just an example. They visually try it, right? So this is the use of AR VR experiences with AI. Then AI for market trend predictions. So if you want to predict like what is the possibility of purchasing a product in near future, whether there is going to be any demand or not. And also, suppose like I wanted to begin a business or an office in a particular location, right? So now if I ask you a question, so what are the things I have to consider before I start a business there, right? So there are so many questions that organizations has to answer. First question is whether there is a similar kind of organization that is already running their business over there, right? So if at all I set up an organization there, how many people are really staying there, will be going out to buy that, what is the habit of the people, whether they go to the shop in person or they try to use the e-commerce websites for buying it. So all those will be taken into considerations, and based on that only they try to set up an office over there, right? So this will help the organizations to analyze. So the marketing people, the higher end people, they will try to analyze the data, but AI also helps the human in making the market trend or predictions, so that it will be helping them to understand the prediction results much quicker than what as a user we develop a model and to do it. So we can do it. We can use a machine learning model. We give the input of the customer behavior, the market trend prediction data set. So we'll try to get some 80% or 85% of accuracy. We'll try to fine tune it, right? So this is what happens. Now, given the AI, so this is the actual content. You give the text, and it will tell you instantly whether the people will be able to buy it or not in future. So this is a simple market trend prediction that can be done by using AI. Automated ad content creations. So when I was talking about the loyalty programs, no, I told that similar loyalty programs image would already be generated and that would be available and that is matched for either user. And sometimes the ad has to be created instantly whenever the user using it, right? So it's going to be an image kind of thing. So we have to use the diffusion models for that. Like the diffusion models will try to generate the image instantly, and it is going to create a ad for you, right? Suppose like if you are going to search for a running shoes, right? So running shoes, and you are giving it text as best places to run a marathon, right? So now the signals like what is already obtained, it tells that you are going to run for a marathon, right? And you are preferring a shoe for it. It will try to customize the result. It will try to give you shoes which exactly fits for marathon. Rather than just giving you a simple running shoes, it also suggests you some marathon shoes like which you can use for marathon, right? So this is how the ad will be generated based upon the signals or your previous results, like what exactly you are searching for or what you are currently searching for. So this will make the user buying a marathon shoes rather than just buying a running shoes. So AI enhanced product design. Now you will get to see a product not in one single dimension. You will be able to rotate the product and see the different angles of the different dimensions of the product, right? So that is what AI does for you, right? You can rotate 360-degree and you'll be able to see the product of all different sizes or different angles, and if you are happy enough you'll be able to buy the product, right? So this 3D representations of a product can also be done by AI model, so which actually accelerates the design process and actually making the user to buy the product at a faster speed. So inventory forecasting. So what I'm touching so far is what are the various operations that happens in e-commerce, right? So this AI helps the business to forecast the demand. It can optimize the inventory levels and prevent the stockouts or overstocking, right? So we need this many number of stocks of a particular product maybe for the next 10 days. Who is going to tell that? So anybody is going to go and check this many stocks are there. We'll just put that 10 products of this particular thing is available in our inventory, right? And we wanted to check like whether there will be a demand in this or not. So A tells there is a demand. You try to place 100 stocks or 200 stocks for the next 10 days. So this helps the business to go forward, right? So this actually improvises the supply chain efficiency and reduces the operational cost rather than just making the user wait for a longer period of time or just bringing in the product at the very last minute. Next is customer retention strategies. So the customers will always, the organization will always worry about retaining the customers. They do not want any customers to leave their organizations or leave their e-commerce websites at any point of time. So what they do, they every time analyze the behavior patterns of the user and they try to offer the personalized rewards, right? So if you enable the notification in your e-commerce websites applications, then you tend to get the notifications giving some rewards or any personalized products of your choice. Right? Maybe you would have searched for it some 2-3 days back, but still you'll get the notification regarding that the product is available now at a very cheaper price. Right? So this is some strategy that is used with organizations to retain the customer. And for predictions also it helps, right, to engage the customer so that they do not leave the website. Say for example, I'm using a website, I wanted to leave. So the websites do not want the customers to leave so quickly. What they do before they go on to press a logout button or just close the websites, they instantly post an ad. Right? They instantly post an ad. They make the user to stay in their websites for a longer period of time, so that they will fine tune the search of the users, and they want the users to search or keep on continuing with the search, right? So that they make the websites look attractive for the customers and the customers will be retained, right? So there is no customer loss. Data-driven decision making. So AI helps in creating a dashboard. It tells you some graphical pictures for the organizations to make some decision, how the business can be taken forward, how they can actually make a quicker decisions to make the business profitable. And the next thing is cross reduction in automation. So you make the process automated, the routine task, and reducing the labor cost. So this is one of the important topic that we discuss every day, whether the laborers are losing their jobs because of AI coming in slowly, right? It's there. We cannot actually say no for it, right? So AI is actually trying to replace the human laborers, but it can never replace humans at all, right? So the increasing operational efficiency is there, like when we try to automate by using AI, and the businesses can really focus on strategies activities. The AI handles the repetitive task, whereas the higher end officials or the managers they can focus on making a decisions or strategies. The data entry and the customer support can be taken by AI. You really do not have to deploy any humans for, especially for doing the data entry or for the customer support. Okay. And next, coming to cross-selling and upselling. Do anyone know like what is cross-selling and upselling? Can anybody give me an answer for this? Participants, if you're looking at this, like what is cross-selling, upselling? Any idea? Okay. Right. Upselling. Say I am looking for a mobile phone to buy. Right. Say I am trying to buy an Android mobile phone, but the suggestions that is given by the e-commerce websites are giving you some models of iPhone where the price is reduced, right? So your intention is to buy an Android mobile phone, but seeing the prices and the higher versions of the mobile phones or the iPhone models, you tend to buy the iPhone rather than buying the Android phone. This is upselling, right? And coming to cross-selling, say I wanted to buy a mobile, right? Not just a mobile, right? Or maybe I just wanted to buy a mobile only, but it will try to give you some additional products such as a back case or a tempered glass. You could able to see plus plus plus, right? The checkboxes is there. You tick, and there is a price reduction like when you try to buy it all together, right? So this is called as cross-selling. Your intention is to buy a particular product, and it will tell you some products which are closely relevant to that particular product, and that is actually making you to buy those products. So AI is making the customer to buy those. That is called as cross-selling. So this is mainly used in retail operations, right? AI in the retail operations. It helps in improvising the customer experience, inventory management, supply chain management, in-store operations, and even further security. So we may use a blockchain for security, or we may use any ML models for analyzing the anomalies that is happening. So we do have a data privacy and security concerns like whenever we use AI, because like AI technologies it needs a large amount of data to analyze the customer behavior. So the customer data is being dealt by AI. So AI should not put the data in somebody's portal or somebody who will be able to access it in an unauthorized manner. So security is very much crucial, and the businesses must safeguard all the sensitive information so that there is no unauthorized access or breaches that is happening to the data. So strict protection of the data to be done. So for that, like whatever the security protocols that is to be used by the organization, it has to be followed as per the privacy regulations. So we have some standards such as HIPAA, or we call it as PCI DSS. These are some of the standards or the protocols that is being used by the organization nowadays to maintain the sensitivity of the customer's data. So we obviously have to talk about ethical AI use in e-commerce. So as I pointed out earlier, the AI has to practice fairness and it is accountable, and whatever the action it is taking, it has to be transparent in e-commerce. All ethical actions only has to be done. No unethical transactions or actions has to be done by the AI. So AI application must be designed in such a way that it is deployed with complete responsibility. It has to respect the customer's rights and ensuring no harm is caused to the consumers or the customers during buying the items or the products. And whatever the business that the organization is taking or doing, it must be proactive so that all the risks that are associated with all these processes are to be mitigated, and the AI should not misuse it. So these are the ethical AI uses in e-commerce. At this point, I have already pointed out algorithmic bias. Say you develop an algorithm. So, agent, let us take for an example. You are searching for a content. It is trying to pick the content. If it is picking it from one or two websites or two or three websites only and leaving out all the websites, we call it as a bias. So you have to teach AI so that it is not working biased, right? So it has to be trained in a such a way that it is gathering information from whatever the websites that are having a very relevant information so that it is not acting in the unfair manner, right? So if it is behaving like that, you have to mitigate the bias and you have to train the AI so that it is working fair enough. So no discrimination is to be allowed. So transparency has to be maintained and it has to give a proper explanation and the people should be able to understand like what exactly is given by the AI, right? So it is with respect to the content generation that we are talking about. Maybe we can take a product description as an example for this. Right? So the customers, the stakeholders, all these people should be able to understand like what exactly the AI is producing, whether it is working in the biased manner or it is working fair enough. So there should be a human plus AI balance that is obviously needed. We cannot just leave AI to work on its own, and we cannot just keep using human alone for doing whatever the activities that we have been discussing so far. So human should tell AI what has to be done, and human should verify it. And after verification, we have to fine tune the AI to give the proper creative content. So blockchain in e-commerce along with AI. So we use blockchain such as Ethereum or so many other concepts mainly for preparing a security or the key for making a secure transactions. So while AI is enabling the smart contracts and improving the supply chain management. So whatever the topics that we have discussed so far, right from the product descriptions, product recommendations, right, dynamic pricing strategies, you could be able to see that AI is involved in each and every role, and the security, the fraud reductions, the blockchains. So you would be able to see how much of job opportunities are really there when you know any AI tools that you can use, especially for the e-commerce. So this is generative AI in metaverse, right? So where the users can they generate their personalized avatars, try on the products virtually, right? Get to see that like you are doing all the purchases in real time. Such a digital transformation has happened so far, right? So, what is the future of marketing opportunities? The future of e-commerce is going to be completely driven by AI. Right now, we say like 30%, it will move on to 70%, and it one day like it will reach 100%. That day, we can say all the customers' experiences or innovating and new products are completely done by AI. Right. So these are the summary key points like what I am going to say, and we are not done with it. So generative AI automates the content creation, it does the personalization, customer engagement, AI-driven automation, ethical considerations have to be taken into account, and the future is going to be completely taken care by the AI, right? So that it has the ability to scale and innovate. So this is overall theoretical picture of like what we have seen so far. I have to definitely give you what are the various tools that are there for e-commerce. Otherwise, it would be just a theoretical session what you have discussed so far, right? I'll touch upon what are the strategic recommendations that can be given for the organizations. Say the organization is going to develop AI, are going to use AI, how they can make the AI to work. First, they start with a small AI project, a small scale AI project. They test the effectiveness of the AI project. First, they will try to check whether the AI is capable of doing any personalization for a customer. Then it is trying to address any privacy or security concerns so that it builds the trust on the customer's experience. Then it is trying to continuously optimize the AI model based upon the feedback and the data received by the customers, and it can adopt it for high-level e-commerce applications. So this is what every organization will do. If the organization is having a very minimal number of employees working and they are not capable of affording or have a capacity to generate the AI tool, they will definitely go on to use the AI tool that is already generated and it is available in the market. I'm going to name some of the tools. So the roadmap for AI adoption, The first phase we call it as a pilot phase. You identify the business needs and you test the AI solutions. Next, you scale how the AI is actually driving the major business operations. Next, you are going to optimize it continuously so that it is working at a very good performance. Then a full-scale adoption. You cannot just use AI straight away for a full-fledged e-commerce ecosystem. Now coming to the tools. So if you want, like you can make a note of these tools. The first thing is ChatGPT. We very well know. Suppose like if you want to use ChatGPT for product recommendations and the personalized shopping experience, you just give the product information, you get the recommendations or you get the experiences, you just put it in your websites, whatever that is being given by ChatGPT. First thing. Second, Persado. So it generates persuasive and personalized marketing content such as emails can be sent to the users or customers or ads can be generated. And copy.ai, it creates marketing copy, product descriptions, social media posts, etc. And Jasper, it is formerly known as Jarvis. Suppose if you want to generate any content for the blog or any social media post, or if you have your own blog, or if you want to describe any product, you can use it, especially for the e-commerce website, you can use Jasper. And Writerly for generating the AI-based content for product descriptions and reviews. And Copysmith. So Copysmith is actually a website. Inside that, like you have so many AI tools available. It is again helpful for product descriptions, ad copies, content creations, etc. And Surfer AI SEO. So when you want your website information to be on the top, like when someone's searching for a particular product, then you can use Surfer SEO for generating the optimized content and what would be the better keyword that has to be generated that will be used in the website so that your website comes on the top. And next phrase, AI powered content for creating a product descriptions. Then AI tools specially for Shopify's for that particular website or particular organization's flow. For recommendations, inventory management, for chatbots, you can use that AI tools. Replica for engaging customers in natural conversations and engaging the customer experience just like a chatbot. And Lebo, so AI powered search engine for e-commerce improving product discovery, which uses NLP. And Dynamic Yield, so it helps for personalization of the user experiences based on the behavior and the preferences of the user. Now that was all about the tools. Now this is the AI tool for evaluating the website integration. Now, whatever the tools that I've told you, all those tools are not the open source tools. You know that AI tools are not open source. It is developed by the organization, and you can use the trial period for maybe 7 days or a week, or one or 2 weeks. You can use it, and after that, like you have to go for a paid version of it, just like a ChatGPT, like what we use, right? So now, as an organization, I wanted to use the AI tool, right? So AI tool is readily available by a vendor, and how do I integrate those tools, right? So whether can I integrate that AI tool directly into my application, whether it fits my customer relationship management process, right, or not. So that is the first question that is to be asked if you're going to integrate it. And second is alignment. So whether it meets your website's needs or not, right? So what is the capability of that AI tool? And third, scalability and traffic handling. Whether is it possible to handle the traffic? Suppose like 100 billions of users are using it at a time, whether the AI tool is able to produce the recommendations or ads for all those users at a time. That is called the scalability and traffic handling. And next, data requirements and management. So whether it is possible for the AI tool to understand all the types of data. For example, structured data, unstructured data, whether it is capable of processing all those data. So that is important. Next thing is user friendliness for team and visitors, right? So how good the interfaces for the website visitors. And sixth question is customization options. If the tool can be customized, which can be aligned with your business or with your brand or your business websites. That is the sixth question that is to be asked. And performance and impact measurement. So now as you use the AI tool, So whether you wanted to analyze the performance of the tool or not, obviously like you need to analyze the performance and what are the various performance metrics that is to be used, how well you can assess your tools that meets your website goals. And next, support training and resources. It's not that every individual working in the organization will be able to understand the AI tool like what you're going to integrate. Obviously, like you have to give a learning or support or training to other employees working in the organization to make use of the AI or to use the AI. Next is feedback loop for improvement. If the tool is properly using and it is giving you the better performance or not, how do you know it? You have to get the feedback from the users and you should be able to analyze the feedback and decide whether to go on with the tool or you want to change a different tool. And one final question, financial implications and return on investment analysis. So your setup cost, your subscription fees, your potential return on investment for adopting those tools, all those has to be analyzed because like you take a tool for some amount, if the tool is not actually properly utilized and it is not benefiting the organization, then there is no reason in using that tool. Right? You can very well go away with that tool. So these are some of the things that you have to ask before integrating the AI tools, right? So before winding up, as it said, like I'll just show you some of the tools, like which is actually your free versions that can be used. So this is by the organization called as WisePops. WisePops. So they actually develop a campaign. So the different templates are actually available within the WisePops. Now what you have to do, you can generate an image or you can generate a campaign using this WisePops and you can add that to your website, right? So for this, you just use the tool name called as wisepops.ai. Once you download it, like the trial version for me, it ends on September 16th. It is a 12 days left one, right? Maybe it is for 15 days actually, right? So once you use it, it mainly asks you for your information and it will ask you for the organization's URL, right? Or the website's URL that you have to post. So maybe for practice purpose, you really do not have to give a proper URL. You can give some URL, it's still accepted. I have tried it, right? So this is the one which I have tried myself from the templates that is already available. So when a user wants to leave the websites without making any purchase, right? Say at the time I'm just loading this particular campaign or ad in the websites. Now the user will be uh, very much happy to see this or they want to proceed with their purchase just to check the trial, right? So whether they wanted to go with this or not, they wanted to just run this, spin the wheel. If they get to see some offer, this offer will be provided to the user. So they just have to enter this email ID and they have to just click try on my like, try my luck, right? So here if I have finished done editing, right? So if I say publish, so it will be, as you see here, this untitled campaign. I didn't give any name for this. So this will be published on the website for the URL like what you have given. Okay. So suppose like if I just give publish, the campaign is successfully published. Like you could able to see this in your website. Or other thing is like you can install this WisePops add it as a plugin to your website and you can very well use it, right? So I click on the preview, right? As you see here, so I'll be getting this. I just enter my personal email ID here. I click on try my luck. See, it says 10% off. Now the user is eligible for a 10% off, right? So this, if a human or a developer has to generate this, like you need an extra human resource. But what you do, you just tell the AI that I wanted to create a campaign of this thing, and the campaign will be generated by the AI for you. You just have to incorporate or just install it into your website. That is far more than enough, right? So this is a small demonstration of how actually you can use the campaign. And suppose like if I am So I wanted to go for a new pop-up campaign. As you see, these are the different categories that are present here, right? So these are the most popular categories. So coupons and offers, like if I select it, I have so many options, so many templates here, so many templates. I can just choose this template and I can edit, right? So here is a 10% off. Suppose if I want to edit this, I have to make it as 20% off. So for example, I want to make it as 20% off, right? So I'll just make all these edits and I save this and I can just put it in my website and I can show this to the user, right? Based upon the customer behavior analysis, like what I have done, right? So this is one thing. This is one area called as whitespots.com. And next thing is, so these are the two that I have tried. I showed you phrase, right? So phrase is actually for a summarization, right? Summarization. Suppose like if I give Gen AI in e-commerce strategies, I wanted to get some content based on this, right? So this will help you to create a product description, given some information about it. Even you can use this for your research. So for example, if you want to write an abstract on a particular topic, right? You just give it, it will give you the abstract, right? So loading content opportunities. So it is asking for a plan to improve. So I just click a new document, right? A blank document, continue. So here you can write a query. If you just write a query, Gen AI in e-commerce. Just click start. You see that like it starts searching Google, right? You get to see like what are the websites it is actually visiting to get the content. So bct.com. So it generates the content from so many websites, entrepreneur.com, right? From so many websites, it will try to create the content and it will give it for you, right? Generate a content brief. Start writing with A. So here, give me a abstract for prediction using right? So I give this, it thinks, so you got the abstract, right? In recent years, the rapid expansion of e-commerce, right? You got the abstract. So this is a tool by which you can actually do the summarization. Sorry. So ChatGPT does it, right? So if you want to go for another search, you can do it, right? So likewise, you can generate the content. So these are the couple of tools that I've tried, right? So this tool is specifically for e-commerce that you can use, provided you have a proper URL or a website that is already created. If you have it, you can directly integrate it. So you could able to see. So here. You could able to see a chatbot trying to communicate with you every time, and it will help you in understanding so how exactly like you wanted to build your application or how do you install the voice pops or pop-ups into your applications. So if you see the review, you can see like so many organizations, they given a positive review upon using this voice pop-ups, mainly for giving some ads or campaigns to make the customer or keep retain the customer using their applications, right? So this is a small demonstration of using the AI tool. So I'm done with my part. So the final thoughts, like what we have done today, is we have seen like how the generative AI is actually automating the e-commerce processes, or how it helps in enhancing the personalization for the customers and enabling the engaging shopping experience, and how it helps for the future innovation and success. Right? So with this, we come to the end of the sessions, and over to you, participants. Like if you have any questions or any insights on the presentation, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you for attention.
Thank you for your session, sir.
Yes, sir.
Dear participants, if you have any queries or anything that you want to clarify, you may kindly raise them now.
So, sorry, ma'am, I could not hear you properly.
So can you post your query in chat box? Your voice is not clear, ma'am.
Sir, we had a question from participant side through chat
Right.
box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how do I
S-
read it, sir? Like I'm clicking on the chat, but I'm able to see.
this is from YouTube, sir. This is from YouTube. So we have live streaming in YouTube, sir. So from
Okay.
that we got a question.
Sure, sir.
Okay, sir. What role does generative AI play in pricing? I mean, dynamic pricing and demand forecasting.
Okay. So we want the generative AI to determine like or decide what could be the pricing based upon the seasonality like what we want to have. Suppose for example, so there is a festival or a purchase that is going to happen in the next month. For example, let's say during the November month, like we have Black Friday in US, right? So now that time we usually see that there is a reduction in the price. Now the reduction in the price is not done by the human. The organizations they decide this much of price can be reduced for a particular product. They determine the range like in which the pricing has to be, and they tell the AI for each and every product what is the pricing that is to be done. So the AI will work on the pricing, and that is actually replicated in the website. Those prices will be shown for each and every product in the website. So there is no manual modification that has to be done by the developer of the websites. Of course, the human or the developer has to verify the pricing, right? So it's purely decided on the market demand and what is the forecasting that they have done on the or the analysis done on our product, how demand it is going to be in the future based on the pricing will be decided.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, there is another question. Am I audible
Sure.
to you, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, I said, sir, what will be the role of Gen AI in future of e-commerce?
Okay. So I don't do the statistics of the e-commerce that is being used nowadays in the in the websites, okay, e-commerce. So probably like we say the percentage is 33, or we say like 70% of the e-commerce shopping experiences are done in today's world. Now let us take by 2027 or 2030, 90 to 95 percentage of our transactions or our purchase are going to take through only e-commerce. We rarely go to the physical stores. So that is what the stat or prediction is going to be. Why? Because given the hectic timeline like what we have in today's world, and the managements or timelines like what we have, no. So it is very difficult. Other than the layman or other than the people uh, who works or who are nearby, they go to the organizations or they go to the physical stores directly. Otherwise, we tend to use the e-commerce websites more often for making the purchases. One thing is the customer experience. Second thing is the pricing, and third thing is the intuitive interface that the every e-commerce application has, right? So the Gen AI will be used by the organizations in improvising all the aspects of the websites that can be shown to the users, which will be so more catchy for the customers. They retain the customers and they make the users to purchase through online rather than going to the physical stores in future. So you will be able to see that. Now, if suppose like if somebody is going to give the lecture, maybe after 5 years, they would say like this much of a percentage of increase in e-commerce purchase.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your clarification, sir. So I sincerely thank our esteemed speakers. So, sorry, sir, we have a question in chat box.
Sure, sir.
Is just a minute. How can e-commerce business measure the effectiveness of AI?
Okay, effectiveness of AI. So see, the effectiveness of AI can be measured in each and every topic that I told you now. Suppose like if you are specifically asking for a product description, right? A product description. Say a customer is looking at a particular product, he sees all the description, but he skips the product and he moves on to the some other product, or he is searching the product in different website, which means that the product description that is generated by the AI is not up to the mark. So the product description has to be changed for that particular product. So the organizations will work on fine-tuning the AI so that the AI is making a better product description. Now, upon making the product description visible to the customer,
team member.
sorry, sir. So if that product description satisfies the customer and there is increase in the particular product's purchase, it means that the performances of the AI is being analyzed. This is one thing. And there is ROI analysis, as I told you. ROI, there is a formula which I have not put it in the picture. I'm not able to recollect the formula instantly. So using that formula, they will be able to analyze the performances of the AI. They take the return on investment and SEO, both search engine optimization, both are taken into account to analyze the performances of the AI.
Okay, sir. Sir, we have another question in the chat box.
Sure, sir.
So is it possible to give product reviews through AI technique? Then how to identify the goodwill of the products?
Yes, sir. So now the question is with relevant to the sentimental analysis. Like now we have a tool, so we should be able to identify like whether the review is given by AI tool or by the real person. So we'll be able to differentiate whether it is a fake review or it is a genuine review that is given by the user. So for that we have to definitely use a sentimental analysis approach, right, by which like we'll be able to differentiate it. So that is one thing. So after analyzing it, if it is found to be a review that is given by a, or a fake review, so the organization will take a step to remove those reviews so that we'll be having only the positive or the neutral reviews or the real negative reviews for the product.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And we sincerely thank you, sir, for the enlightening session on generative AI and e-commerce strategies and your valuable insight on how AI is revolutionizing the personalization, customer enhancement, and business growth have truly broadened our perspectives. We deeply appreciate the way you connected emerging technologies with real world applications, making the session both insightful and inspiring. On behalf of everyone present, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for sharing your expertise with us today, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really pleasure to have you in, have me like in this particular workshop or the FDP. It's really helped me to interact with the participants by answering so many questions. I think that there is a lot of scope actually in this particular field. Like suppose if you really wanted to take up a research in this field or they wanted to do a development or developing an AI tool in this particular field, it really helps you to understand how really AI works. So I will help, I mean, tell them to work on similar AI tools, try to develop a small tools on their own. It will really help them to make a better research work in this particular field. So I finally thank all the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity. It's really a very good pleasure talking and interacting with you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And dear eminent speakers and today's participants, we have an announcement. We are proud to announce that our Kungu Arts and Science College Autonomous Road has once again secured its place in the NIRF ranking 2025, achieving a position in the rank band of 201 to 300 among 4,030 participating colleges across India. What makes this achievement even more remarkable is that we have continuously maintaining this rank for 3 consecutive years, a true testimony to our unwavering commitment to excellence in education, research, and student development. We sincerely thank our management, faculty, staff, students, and alumni and well-wishers for their continued support and dedication that made this accomplishment possible. Thank you so much. And by the way, now we are moving on the next session of our program. It's my honor to invite our eminent resource person, Ms. Vani Mohan, GenAI Architect, Cognition Technology Solutions, Chennai, for the eighth session on the fourth day to deliver the session address. It's my privilege to introduce Ms. Vani Mohan, a visionary architect in generative AI and agentic solution, whose 17 years of industry leadership have set new standards, particularly within healthcare technology domain. currently at Cognitions and with an impressive track record at HPE, Sutherland Digital, and Wipro. Ma'am stands out for her transformative work in healthcare claims management, re- reinventing process and outcomes through intelligent adaptive AI frameworks. Her expertise in agentic AI is unparalleled as she adaptively leveraged advanced platforms like LangChain, LangGraph, and Crew AI to craft solutions that redefine automations and intelligence. One is deep hands-on experience with the large language model, including NVIDIA, NEMO, OpenAI's Shoot, Nemotron, DeepSeek, ChatGPT, and Cloud. Demonstrates her mastery in building and training models that drive unprecedented innovation across organizations. Through her pioneering approach, MAM has not only revolutionizing healthcare operations, but also mentored and inspired the next generation of AI talents by demystifying complex concepts and forecasting a culture of excellence. She amplifies the impact of AI in real world settings. Her blend of technical brilliance, strategic vision, and commitment to transformation change distinguishes her as a leading force in technology and healthcare. Today, we are delighted to have her with us, bringing her rich industry experience and insights to this faculty development area. Ma'am, we welcome you to share your thoughts on exploring generative AI in healthcare. Welcome you, ma'am. Now the session is yours.
Thank you, sir. Please let me know if everyone can hear me.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
So, thanks for the introduction. I'm here to present exploring generative AI in healthcare. I can hear echoes. Able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Can someone go on mute because I'm hearing a lot of echo.
Yes, ma'am, you can proceed.
Fine. Maybe I'll share my screen.
Ma'am, sorry for the interruption. Ma'am, I think if there is any another one device is connected to the same ID in Zoom meeting.
Let me check.
I mean, any of your device, your laptop or mobile.
I think so. Able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me start sharing my screen.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. You can share.
Please let me know if my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Screen is visible, ma'am,
Okay.
but not in full screen. Yeah, now okay.
Thank you. So, all these days, hopefully, all of you have, or very well introduced to what is Gen AI and all those things. But how predominantly this dominates in the healthcare industry is what something that we are going to see in our session today. So let's see, before anyone going into there, like we might have to understand what are all the pain points in the healthcare industry that we might have to understand. So like while we want to understand why generative AI is important in that industry. So, for today's agenda, we will cover up what are all the key pain points in the healthcare industry and how making use of the Gen AI, agentic AI, and then the responsible AI putting together, we can provide solutions to address those pain points. Then, if I need to process some of the claims in the healthcare, now how these multi-agent collaboration can happen, all those things. I can show you a kind of use case. Then some of the knowledge bases and then the MCP tools that we might have to take care when it comes to MCP, because when it comes to healthcare, because these knowledge bases are something very important while we deal with the healthcare world, because every home has got a patient and each of their record is important while we provide any diagnosis or a treatment, and in case of any healthcare claims procedure or processing. Now whatever the results that has been generated using the LLMs, whether those are kind of a valid or not valid, because we deal with people, and whatever we provide is their diagnosis, treatment, and then the claim. So we should be careful in whatever the solution that we provide to them. So the solution can be done using AI and with the help of LLM, but we should always ensure that that is valid and that's what of any security concerns. Okay, so what are all the other best practices that we can make use of in terms of a responsible AI? So that's what we are going to deal for today. So these are all our pain points, because there's a massive healthcare data, because as I told you that each and every people in our home have person who might have got health issues, let that be a small kid or even old age person. Okay, so there'll be massive healthcare data that we need to handle, and the complexity of the data, because each of the case is something different, and putting together and then bringing in a diagnosis is something that is very complicated when it comes to healthcare. Then what is the patient outcomes, because I need to make an accurate decision while we provide while I involve AI in that, or else it could be prone to human error based solutions, right? Now what could be the challenges, right? So there could be, while giving a personalized medicine or something, then each and every aspects, the parameters of all those things has to be analyzed, and even in there there's a while giving a personalized treatment, then there involves a lot of procedures, and then the process involved is really complex, and administrative efficiency, say while we deal, say example, if I enter into any hospital, or I have to undergo a procedure, then there should be a lot of documentation then I need to provide, and there's a lot of approvals, and there's a lot of um, uh, supervisions, and then the workflows to be taken care of. Okay, so all these are the challenges in the healthcare industry even. Now, me as a user, now industry wise, those could be the reasons, but me as a person, what could be, there could be a delayed medication attention. Say I have been asked for periodic reports, and then I would have been asked to do so many tests, but then my diagnosis or the prescriptions may could be like 1 or 2 day delayed, and because of that, if I get a delayed medical attention, even my health condition even worsen, and that may not be of use, right? And human mistakes, everywhere it is there. In AI, it is more, because it's not done by human. We are trying to exclude the human, and then bringing in a lot of precision, but then still that is done on the basis of data analysis, and then past history, and then all those things. But still, um, when there is a dangerous human mistakes, then I should be able to avoid that if I will bring in A, right? So challenges from the fragmented data. So while I give a data, or while I give a diagnosis, then those data are not in from a single source. So maybe he could be a patient, critical patient who might be transferred from the other hospital, and then there could be medical records that it has to refer, or if there is any new drug invention, then that involves a lot of combinations of thesis references and all those things. So those need um, data, but then it's all fragmented, and that is not from a single source, right? It could be structured, unstructured kind of a document, and then everything. So all of things, it has to be handle, right? And then accordingly, a solution or um, um, final thing has to be arrived. So this is one of the challenges, very important challenge when we deal with the healthcare industry. And then economic strains, so expenses are getting more, particularly when it comes to medical expenses. Day by day, it is getting more. So quality treatments is something that we need to target, and if it's kind of only human provided treatment, then we need to rely on the doctors. And then even the doctors, while we interact with so many departments of the healthcare domain, they say, while we give that, say this is the point where a surgery has to be made. When it comes to the precision, AI takes a better decision than the human, trust me. Because even if it's a doctor has to do a surgery, then plus or minus there are some few millimeter level of precision that is deviating from the AI. But when it comes to AI, it makes a better decision even, right? So quality of treatment is very important, and that to affordable cost, and with the involvement of the technology, something that we need to consider. So as I told you, data is more because it's very important, because without data, the AI doesn't exist, because all the data that we give it to LLM should be analyzed. And if I need to have an efficient decision to be made, then more the data, more the efficiency. Okay. So similarly, as I told you, the data is fragmented. So AI has the capability to streamline those extraction of those data. Say example, maybe if we are all technical peoples, right? So those data can exist in terms of a PDF image, because when it comes to healthcare, you should be having scan reports, prescription, and a lot of medical reports that could be in a PDF or documents, some of the handwritten prescriptions. So all those things has to be scanned, extracted, and then it has to be streamlined, so that we can orchestrate, and then we can provide AI solutions on top of that, right? So data is much more important when it comes to Gen AI. So contextual comprehension increases the accuracy. So when there is a lot of, say example, if you have a 500 pages of a document that has been given to any doctor or any patient. Nobody understands that. But if I can summarize and then give it to me, say like what is needed, what is not needed, so that it is easy for me to diagnose even, right? So AI is helping me doing that. Okay. And similarly, uh, as I told you, transforming the data, that is a standardized format, because there are multiple formats of data available. So I need to standardize that because it helps me to integrate a lot of other systems. So this is the accuracy. Accuracy means that AI can validate another AI agent, and whatever the result that has been generated by one agent, we can even enforce that it validates with other data set of data. Okay, so that say even if it has generated a wrong outcome, then that can be validated and then right accurate treatment or any sort of a decision to be made, it can be done. So I mean there are like effective algorithms involved, algorithms in the sense, unlike ML people, right, who are like one generation before this Gen A. So they used to come up with a lot of ML algorithms and then they put together and then they work upon. But today, whatever the recent LLMs that has been released, every now and then, right, there are a lot of reasoning model that is available that makes our job easier. So what are all these reasoning models? Whenever say example, we all know, say like this is the value of a pi, right? How it comes and then what is the precision, that also we know, right? So it can even say this is the value of a pi, but then how it comes, why I need to accept the answer. Now what are all the other ways that we can say that this answer I should defer it? So all these reasoning LLMs are predominant in the market. I can say Nematron, DeepSeek, all those things are the LLMs that have pretty cool LLMs. So these can make some reasoning decisions so that it avoids me putting together all those algorithms and then combining everything, and then in a say I can give you all the diagnostic reports, I can give the past history, so you take the decision, you reason why the solution could be right or wrong according to my data. So that sort of a capability is something Gen AI is providing us. Okay, so which makes me to even trust, because there's very less human intrusion, but it acts upon by the facts. Okay, so that is something that we need to see. Then streamlining the workflow orchestration with Gen. Now, as I told you, we need, it helps me in data accuracy. It helps me to process, streamline the data. But how it helps in streamlining the process? As I told you, I go visit the hospital, then I go through a lot of a process, right? And I submit a lot of documentations. I don't even understand what is this ICD codes or something they are mentioning. So whenever a doctor says that this is the condition, and if he explains the term, we may not be able to understand, right? And it sounds me to Greek and Latin. So always the process is something not precise. So I need to rely on some of the desk people and the medical practitioners data, then how it is processed and all those things. Then I have to refer some of the other documents. I need to go and back see what I'm eligible, how I'm eligible, why it is giving me all those things. I need to go through. But then I can make use of some of the framework, like the agentic AI framework combines with the Gen AI And if I can provide a solution, then that is going to address a lot of my healthcare problem. One of the problem that is the drug discovery and the claims processing. Claims processing is something more on a approval level and all those things. So we are going to discuss in detail, how it looks like, and then all those things. Okay. So desk management, then monitoring, then how I need to dynamically allocation of the task, because sometimes while we initiate a claim and then that could be pending for a long time, we may not even know where it is pending. Now recent times, there are like online systems that is updating the status periodically, but then we certainly sometimes don't know who's involved or whom I need to contact. There could be a then and there email that is triggering. So all those latest things are doing that, but um, certainly there is a people intervention is there, and then they will have to update the status, and for each of the level they will have to update it accordingly, the workflow updates. But what if I will replace the human only, and then I put the agent in terms of the place where it has to go, that so that the process will be quick, and at each of the stages I can the status are what is the reason behind why it has been rejected. And even if I want to say that, initiated redo the process once again, all those things are very quick when it comes to um, providing a solution in the healthcare along with the agent, because uh, the agent itself take care of all those tasks, and then orchestrator is streamlining those agents. Now what comes this after this, if it is pending, what it has to do, if it is approved, what it has to do, if I need more information, what it has to do. So all those streamlining of these workflows can be done using this Gen AI. So now I told you about Gen AI, agentic AI, and then responsible AI. So now, what are all these things, right? So let's do a quick comparison. Maybe you would have heard all these terms all these days, but then just wanted to have a quick review, because generative AI focuses on producing content and then text and then images, but then it also does the reasoning part even, along with the help of the LM. So creative outputs, and then that is needed for the industry. So there are wherever there's a problem statement, wherever there's involved a creativity, then those are all the targets for the Gen AI. Okay. Now, agentic AI is where there involves a process. Okay, so there involves a process, there involves a human intervention, there involves a complexity, it involves a lot of levels, and there involves a chunk of job that has to be dedicated by people or industry or at a domain level. Okay, so those are all the places we involve this agentic AI framework. So agentic AI is not, it's a concept, but then there are a lot of a framework that it is adapting. Example, like Crew AI and whatnot. Say like Azure agents. If you go to AWS, it's Bedrock agents. And all these platforms, right? Service providers like GCP, AWS, Azure's, all are NVIDIA. I predominantly work with NVIDIA's stack. Okay, so all these are coming with the agentic AI frameworks, because not with this assistance, whatever that we see these days, right? Say the bots that we say in Meta in our WhatsApp, and then if you Google it, you get Gemini, and if you go use Edge, Copilot assistance is enabled. So all these are all assistants, but with these assistants, will I be able to achieve these workflows and then the process? So will that be a holistic solution? May not be. So for that I need to involve the agentic AI framework even, right? And then responsible A. So wherever I need to have a kind of ethical principle involved, because some industry discloses the information, but some industry never do. If there are any public information that we can expose, then we can do that. But then if that's a kind of a personal or any information that is pertaining to a single person, or let it be a company's information or a process specific information, so I need to have a kind of ethical and then a transparent access to that information. Though I'm an I'm providing an agentic AI solution, I'm using a lot of data, but then no, I should always be mindful while I use the data in a way that it does not create any damage wise in terms of ethical. Say ethical in the sense, say if I'm a person and then I'm just have some sort of a policy information. So should I expose my policy IDs to anyone, while I'm generating a solution, or can some of my information be abstract, or should I show all of those while generating or sharing my information? My histories are all fine, but then should I give it to all or only to the relevant person? So all those kind of fairness in the response, all those things to be ensured while we deal with the LLM outputs, and then particularly for the healthcare environment, right? So let's move on to the key pointers. So we spoke about the workflows, and then it does an automatic allocation of the task, and then we need to have an ethical safeguards. Okay, so these key pointers is where we are talking. So decision making done by agentic AI, generating AI creativity is done by GenAIs, and then ethical safeguards is done by my responsible AI. So responsible AI, while we talk about it, is governed by so many principles, and then it comes with a framework. So we need to adapt it. There are kind of a frameworks like RAGAS and then deep eval and all those things that do a ground truth evaluation, and parallelly we will enforce some of the ethical principles to it, so that it won't deviate actually. Okay. Now here comes the health claim processing in the real time. Okay. So let's see, how in the real time claim is getting processed. Okay. So a member comes in, and then he does an appointment. That is a provider is a service provider who will be your hospital or any health practitioners workspace. So and then we visit the front desk, and then do a check-in, then say we need to we will be given a kind of prescriptions and then the test. So we do all those tests, and then we get the charges. So this hospital billing system will come into picture. So there's a back and forth of, if you have any insurance claim, they might be asking all those. You will be providing all those data. So there will be a back and forth communication happens. Then it goes to the payer, and when it comes to any sort of insurance claim, the first process will be your adjudication. Adjudication is something making a clear cut decision of yes or no. So yes or no in the sense, you have claimed it, but then are you eligible for that claim? Okay, and whether this diagnosis is really true. So should I even consider and then provide you, because though you pay premium on time, and then you have taken the best policy in the world, but always from the insurance sector, why before even approving all those things, there will be a lot of other factors they will look into before approving. So the first process is your adjudication. So they are the decision makers, and then they do kind of eligibility check, taking up your policy information, previous claims history, previous treatments, or if you're claiming for a kind of dental procedure, but then you have taken an insurance for a critical illness. So most of the critical illness and all those things may not include these kind of a cosmetic things, eye related glasses, process or dental thing may not be included in all those aspects, until unless it's a kind of a surgical thing. So in that case, the adjudication will definitely reject your claim, right? So then once all these process that goes in, then there could be a remittances. Then finally, end of the day, as per your copay is like, not all your claim can be approved. Even in your 100%, 80% they can approve, 20% they may not be approved, you will have to pay. So all those things are there when it comes to health claim processing in the real time. Okay, so this is, if you imagine you as a user, and then you would have done it for your elders, or you yourself have been experienced this process, right? So now how a can help us, right? So complex task divisions can be done. You have seen that there are a lot of tasks that is going on in the complete workflow, and if I split those tasks, right, so then there could be a seamless collaborations between the agents. So that is very important. And finally, because we deal with money, finally we are giving a payment, right? So in that case, then there should be a error reduction, and then there should be faster approvals, right? So how this can be? So collective claim intake management should be there. So basically we go visit the desk, and then we say that, I have this insurance, and then can you, pick up this claim? And then what they will do, they will just do a data entry, and there'll be a claim ID generated, right? Now this should be handled, if I'm going to take it in my workflow, right? Now similarly, there should be a automated data verification, because there are a lot of proof that has to be validated. Though these days people use a lot of OCR tools, and then they read and all those things, right? Now I will have to adopt a lot of tools, and then if it is, if the image reading is not proper, right? So in that case, what I will have to do is that, excuse me, so then we will have to see if that um, image, if it is not read properly, then if it has not even considered those things, then in that case my diagnosis even can go wrong, or even my payment processing can go wrong. So what I should do in that case, right? So in that case, then there should be a human intervention. So, but instead, though in spite of all this OCR reading and then all those things, we have these VLMs, okay, quite popular VLMs. Like, if you consider NVIDIA, there are like a Villa, and if you consider AWS, there's a popular VLM. So those are all visualized language models. So they interpret all these images without even enforcing all this OCR and all those. They take all automatically read those images, convert those content, and then whenever that is needed, that has been fairly segregated, structured, and then it has been stored. So those sort of a facility will not be available using OCR. It's just a reading, but for how you organize the data and structure it, all those things, we might have to come up with algorithms and then writing and all those things. So that has to be verified and then validated whenever proof summation. Okay. Now intelligent fraud detection. So while doing a validation, say, even if it skips the adjudication at each of the stages, right? Before even processing the claim, then we will have to uh, do those thing. If I don't have that intelligence, then what's the point? I'm using an A, because it should eradicate that. Maybe it could have skipped some of the well-known data, one or two places, that in repeated iterations that it can pick it up. But then fraud detection is must, because it should not allow, because it's money involved. So finally, approval automation should also be done, right? Now these are all the key areas that where you need to focus. So accordingly, now what could be my architecture for doing this health claim processing, right? So there should be an orchestrator. Now these orchestrators, so as I told you, there are a lot of agentic AI frameworks that it is coming into picture. We can use Langgraph or Crew or any of those service providers agentic AI framework. And there, these orchestrator name could vary in each of those terms. So it could be supervisor there. And I need to have three agents. Agents are the AA agent, right? Now it's not a human agent. Those are all virtual agent, making use of the LLMs to arrive at a decision. Now how they will arrive at a decision, right? So these agents does the specific task, right? Adjudication has got a dedicated task to verify whether this claim can be approved or not, whether that it passed the eligibility check, not should I even approve that or not. So all those decisions that the adjudicator has to do. So that agent process has got a well defined task it has to do. So now how it can do, there could be MCPs or the model context protocol. Now this is something so fast that industries are adapting, because we all would have used GitHub for our repo access and all those things. So those even have those MCPs, because we can access our their APIs through that. So similarly, all the service providers and all those things who expose their services as MCPs to us. So what we need to do is that we need to have a client, and then we can straight away just consume there without even knowing what is the underlying concept, how the algorithms work, or what I should really care about is that what I need to input and what that exactly gives me the output. Okay, so there are a lot of tools that it is coming into picture, that is even makes my jobs easier. So even in the healthcare industry, there are a lot of the domain specific MCP tools are available that will be exposed to me. Okay, now if you don't have MCP, then what should I do, right? So in that case, we should write our own tools, in the sense, even that we need not worry a lot, because when we need to do a lot of data processing, or structuring, or DB access and all those things, there are already customized open source tools are available. All we need to do is that we need to consume these through the framework. So while I said this Langgraphs or the QAs, all these are supporting these kind of tools to us. So if we don't have MCP, we can go with the tools. Now what this tool exactly do is that they refer to the knowledge bases that it provides. So what are all the knowledge bases? That could be the inventory details, or the hospital's data, or the history of um uh, the user, or it could be a repo of all the policy information. It could be an insurer information to make a decision. So all those data are in whatever the way it comes in. Like that could be a DB document, uh, any piece of handwritten thing that has been stored in some format, or it should be a manual input. Earlier we used to call all those RAG outcomes. So all those things can be, we can provide all those things. Okay, so the adjudicator make a decision using all these of the information relevant to the user specific, and then the insurance insured, and then the insurer specific detail, and then make a clear cut decision. Now how he makes, or how the agent makes this decision is that all these data will be web traced, or it can be retrieved on demand basis, and all those will be processed and then used by the LLMs. Okay. Now these LLMs could be of any choice, that whatever you say if we want to make a clear cut decision, and there are a lot of reasoning models available. I just know let uh, to say, like, it uses LLMs, but it's all of our choice, and it uses that. Now finally, as I told you, whatever the generated outcome of the LLM should be somehow validated by a framework, right? Now there are deep evaluation framework, and then the Ragas framework that ensures that whatever that it has generated is right. Now how it does, there's a dedicated test data set that this ground truth analysis do. Say it's a kind of pre-trained or live data that will be associated to the data sets. Okay. Now let me pause a while here. Just a second. Okay. So kindly excuse me. That was okay. So there are these live data that we can use it as a data set to validate against whatever that it is generating, because we rely on MCP. The MCPs can pull the data from various sources, and then integratedly it will be validated by the LLM. But then whether that complies with the actual kind of outcome that is expected, because there could be some of the history that I can even compare, right? Say for a similar kind of a cases, if it is even generating a right set of outcome or something, I can even do a analysis. So that is called the ground truth analysis. So that involves even data that I can give it to the LLM. And finally, guardrails. Okay, so I'm not sure now how many of you knew about guardrails. Now all the service providers like GCP, AWS Azure, and then NVIDIA are providing these guardrails. So guardrails are also setting principles. Say example, if you are asking about like about some of the political party information, but then that is but you are using you are in an healthcare domain that is a restricted area, and then where productivity is more focused, and then you are not supposed to use the AI for those uh, activities, like because AI is information. It's a pre-trained model, so it has got access to a lot of information, public available information. But what it has to generate, what it should not generate, right? That is very important. Now, for that, we are going to enforce certain guardrails for that. Most of the LLMs have adopted this, but then in your healthcare domain, and if you are going to provide any personalized solution, example, as I told you that if I need to mask some of the information that is something relevant or irrelevant to share to someone, then I should be able to do. So that control I need to have on the responses what the LLM is generating. So I don't know if something, some offensive language, because this is all public trained data, and while generating anything, any responses, right, in terms of patient response. So it should be little empathetic, saying that see, you have this thing. Me as an AA agent, I have generated this, but apologize if I do not have generated the right thing for you. But it should not say, see, I am the AI, this is something I have generated it for you, take it. Okay, so that is something that should not an AI generate, or all those things. So that those empathetic and all those things most have been incorporated by all of the recent LLMs that we are dealing with. But then we do control the responses that the AI generating. So those are all the guardrails. Okay. Now finally, responsible AI or a set of principles that is governed by this framework. So that also we will ensure, in terms of a prompt or in terms of a data set, that this also complies with this. So putting together, we create arrive at a final solution in the healthcare domain. So Gen AI is used in the healthcare domain in all these aspects. Okay. Now I can even say other way of healthcare domain, because healthcare domain is by and large, it deals with all kind of medicines, diagnosis, treatments, claims processing, and then any sort of precision, personalized governance, everything. Right now, drug discovery could be other way. Say whomever doing a research and all those things, right? So that is something we need to consider. So there could be the agent could be anything. So I have used for this illustration is the autogen agent. Okay, so autogen is one sort of Azure agent. Now, as I told you, the agentic AI framework adoption is up to the design techniques and then all those things, whomever is going to adapt. Okay, so ultimately there will be an AI agent. So I'm just using for a reference as an autogen agent. Now, what is autogen agent 1 and then 2 and then 3 is doing is that it deals with the patient reports, and then one could act as a chatbot, and then one will do a thesis analysis, and then one will talk to all those MCP tools. Now, as you can see, each agent can also use a different sort of LLMs depending upon their needs as well. One could use a reasoning model, one may not use, it could use a limited thing, one could use a VLM. Now, depending upon the reasoning types, it is going to pick up the models even. Now, I have mentioned one more thing as a critic. Okay. Now, there are something, if you are used to this agentic AI framework, the LLM can act as a critic and then the judge. Now, these two things are very important in the healthcare industry because, as I told you, we are dealing with people. Okay, so anything that it's not a business decision wherein that involves a money and then few dollars miss. Later on, we can reverse it, or reverse payments is possible, or those kind of something that risk we can't afford in the um, healthcare domain, because this illustration is for the drug discovery. So while I'm creating the drug, then it should be in the kind of correct combination. If not, then it's okay, if it's provide a kind of instead of HCl, if it is putting sulfuric acid or other thing, it should be fine, that thing that it can't do, right? So in that case, that validation it has to do. So LLM can validate another LLM outcome even. In recent times, the agent, say we should have even created about A to A protocol, wherein the agent can validate other agents. So these are all a kind of concepts that the GenAI can that we can use the technology for us to contribute in these areas. Okay, because the decision making and then the right choice of a combination and then the precision, all those things are very important when it comes to these use cases. Okay, so finally, we can even AI is used in kind of a drug invention even. So this is one of the illustrations I have. So couple of other things, as I told you, knowledge bases and then the MCP tool. So there are medical ontologies, say clinical concepts, that is very important, that we definitely can't understand, and then even someone explains us also, we will not be able to focus that, but this can read it efficiently, summarize that, and then do it. And there are coding systems, that is the ICD, and then all those things. For example, if you're going for some sort of kidney disease, okay, no, to us it's a kidney disease, that's it's very easy way for me to understand. But then if it is converted into a medical term that has got a ICD code relevant to it. Okay, so when finally we generate any sort of a discharge summary, or if it goes for further recommendation to the doctors, then that understanding should be there. Now when it comes to LLM, if those GenAs are helping a lot in doing all those things, then curated data sets. So curated data sets is something. Data sets, it is specific to healthcare. For example, if you have an LLM, you can even whatever the LLM that is released by Meta or something, that's a kind of a public specific. Say it can deal about say if it's a geography, history, and all those things, whichever that is already known, all those theories and then all those things. But what if I need to ask a question, or make a decision that is relevant to or specific to my domain. Okay, so in that case, I don't want the journey to work upon whatever that is not relevant. So I can curate the data sets, and then I can make it to work. So that is possible. And then it's a MCP is a model context protocol, but here I call it as a multi-component platform tools, and then the framework. So these tools, transfer the information in a secure way, and then more integrated ways, so that we don't even care about what is the underlying, how I will write a code, or how I need to, and then that is simple to use, easy solutions can be done using this tool. Okay, so these are all something that we have spoke about already. And then the ground truth, we spoke about why it is doing and all those things. So trust is something, um, we very well need the ground truth analysis in the healthcare industry. Okay, so expert assessment, and then the benchmark data sets, and user feedbacks. Say example, you are going or you are doing a workflow, right? So in that workflow, do I really need a human intervention? Example, you have taken up a claim for processing. Okay, and they have generated a some amount. Okay, and while you and then they provided the result as well. reasoning as well, why this has been under this category and all those things. Still, you are not happy with that because you see that there seems to be some sort of a error. Okay, so in that case, what you do is that say at the second step, while it is generating and then it is populating you some sort of information, you are saying that here, I want to add some information, or I want to give more information, or you're saying that this is not right. Okay, so that facility is available while we incorporate this solutions, gen AI solutions. Why? Because that is important as well. As I told you, we deal with human beings, but AI is providing, though AI is providing, and then we have enforced ground truth validation, we have enforced guardrails, we have enforced responsible AI principles, everything has been done, and then the LLM is acting as a critic, and then agent is evaluated by other agent. Still, uh, this is uh, this is all. Made a decision with the data. What if the data while entered itself was wrong, or it has been malformatted, or one of the sources that has to distribute the data is down so that it acted upon few data sets and then the provided result is wrong, right? So that is possible. So we need to give the possibility of it can go wrong, and then the human to intervene as well, though most of the thing will be taken care by the AI, but we also need to give the flexibility for the human being to intervene, right? So in that case, there could be an iterative approach. Okay, the step two, we feel this something has to be added, and then I want to give additional information over there, and then I provide the information. So accordingly, if the result mismatches, it goes for a further iteration, and the orchestrator takes a better decision based upon the response that it gets in the second. Say the user feedback may add a value there. Okay, so now if it add value, and if it is right, then the flow of the orchestrator changes back to whichever that is right, and then it goes in the correct sort of a workflow. This intervention or the feedback loops is important when it comes to provide or while we are trying to provide a solution in the healthcare industry. Okay, now this is feasible. So error minimization is something that we are talking about this thing, because we in the company we have even partnered with some of the robotic systems, even wherein we provide our solutions that can do the monitoring, and then they will give the coordinates. Okay, now according to the coordinates, that can do kind of precision procedure. Okay, it can initiate that, or kind of automated task. If it has to perform a medical test, right? Say example, if it's a powered test, right? So in that case, it has to process some of the robo is going to do that, but on what basis it has to make that decision that these are all the parameters that is from this test, and then this is the report that it has to generate. So accordingly, the guided approach will be through the AI powered solution, and the monitoring and then the orchestration will also be done accordingly. The AI will, I mean, the robo will respond to it. Okay, so that is also feasible with the solutions in the healthcare industry. So I think we spoke about the ethical considerations. So we should not be, um, uh, giving any disparities in the treatment. So a treatment should be with quality, and then irrespective of whom or what, it should be right. Okay, so that is something. And then if a person comes and then takes a treatment, then the next time he has to believe that yes, A can do this, and then it has to he has to agree upon with it, and he has to see that his privacy is maintained, and then all of his records are not exposed, and fairly he gets the treatment advice and all those things. So this responsible AI design should also be integrated when we provide solutions with the uh, generative AI in the healthcare domain. Okay. Then now if so basically the main part of Ajane is to generation of the precise context, or collating so many informations, putting together, and then coming up with the clear documentations. Okay, so in that way, say example, if the raw form of data is available and then that has been processed, but then those informations are not available properly. So first thing is that kind of considering or splitting up that into a procedure by procedure, and then providing it to the solution, so that even if it's a any framework or agent is going to pick up, what has to go first, what has to go next is something uh, that should be fairly visible to the agent. Okay, so there should be a clear cut documentation, and then it has to explain uh, finally whatever the outcome that it is generating should also be understandable by the users. So similarly, we should have a governance, right, in terms of auditing. So in terms of auditing, that we spoke about guardrails, and then the responsible A, wherein we if you consider responsible A, there are 50 plus the principles, or even 200 plus. Right now, whatever the time we are talking, it could even increase in it. Okay, so that way the refined output and the governance should also be brought up in whatever the solution that we are doing. So Gen AI incorporates those things. Okay. Yeah. So that's all I have, and please let me know if we have any questions.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the enlightening session.
Thank you.
Dear participants, if you have any queries or anything else that you want to clarify, you can may kindly raise them now. Dear participants, if you wish to ask any questions, you can also post the questions in chat box also. Kindly make use of it. Ma'am, we have a question from YouTube participants.
Okay.
Ma'am, how is generative AI is being used in medical side like X-rays, MRIs, and CT scans?
Right. So now classic procedure is that you have your scan documents. Okay, you give it to any OCR enabled systems. Okay, and that read the scans. even if it's going to be a policy documents also, it can read. Okay, but what in this X-ray, there is a fracture. Okay, now if these systems are reading that, we can't say that this is accurate. Okay, but if you consider these VLMs, that is the visual language models, right? What they will do is they will read. Okay, read in the sense they will scan it. Now, even after scan it, what they will mention is that, say, this is the right leg image, and in there, the bone that has got fracture is this much, and then this is the dimension, and whatever your claim or something is this. Okay, now if you have claimed for a any leg injury, but then that is not relevant to any fracture, but your X-ray is showing an image that is of a fracture, but you are claiming for other, right? Now it makes a decision putting together that this is the dimension, and for this claim is not even feasible. Okay, so that is possible using these kind of a VLMs. Okay, so that I mean, I even tested, because while we deal with this insurance claims, right, a lot of people comes with these kind of a thing, because our patients data are in forms of this. Okay, and most of the time these policy documents are not readable, because these policy IDs, definitely, it's all a kind of images, and then they upload it just like that. We can't even figure it out what is the IDs there or something. And these kind of image reading, most of the records we are not able to extract it. Okay, so for all of those scenarios, we have GenAI solutions using the VLMs.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And another participant, Dr. Sumati, had a question in our chat box.
Okay.
How can AI improve patients' outcome?
Okay, patient's outcome, right? Could you repeat? How can GenAI improve the patient's outcome, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Exactly.
Okay, so the patient's outcome could be in many ways. Okay, so the outcomes in terms of the quality of the treatment, the outcome in terms of the diagnosis, the outcome in terms of the insurance processed way. These are all the outcomes. Now, for all of these, we have solutions. If you are expecting a quality of a treatment, now, if a quality of a treatment is something, uh, you are taking a test, right? So now, for taking the test, and then for the solution that it is providing, right, it collects all of your data, and it does it even picks up your previous medical history. Now, how many times this person has admitted, and then for whatsoever reason, he has undergone any angio, he has got any pre-ailment. Now, if he is coming for any sort of kidney disease or something, if I'm going to make a bold decision that this should be a surgical procedure, but whether the patient is able to withstand or not. So that sort of a quality treatment decisions can be made precisely using all the data, and then the analysis and the reasoning models helps you to do that. Okay, so similarly, this is on terms of the drugs proposed even. There could be a lot of ICD codes that it has to go through and then do. Sometimes even doctor even not sure what it has to do, because he might have taken the treatment in a previous hospital with a different doctor, and then he is a new patient to him, and then he has to go through that. So that diagnosis, even he has to be thoughtful and then mindful. So that way AI is also doing that. Then in terms of outcome of the insurance, or all those things, right? So that we spoke about this detailed illustration, where final your payment is something not just based upon a data that you say, and then it flashes some finally this is the approved amount. No, it says at each and every stage why you have submitted the claim, who you have submitted the claim, why I am rejecting it. Now you have submitted this record for this, but I don't have this. So, and this is your eligibility criteria. Now, you have some during the surgical procedures, someone would have used some cotton slabs and then all those things. But when it comes to arriving at the cost factor and all those are exclusion factors. Now, whether that has been taken care, you could even submit for some higher thing, but then whether that has been. But similarly, while processing, they might miss something. So that miss will also not happen because it's all based upon what you submit and then what you get. Okay, so or the patient outcome can be improved in all of these way, and then AI supports in throughout all of these factors too.
Okay, ma'am.
Whether
And another question is there.
whether generative AI model produce better prediction for text data or image input. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. So I will say text data takes the precedence. Okay. So I will not hide anything because these models, right? Most of the models predominantly that has been released are that we are getting in reality, or in which we have more access to are text-based models. Okay, and these VLMs are typically comes with more cost, and then those are all not a CPU-based processing system. So those are all kind of GPU, graphical processing unit. So that doesn't comes at free of cost, and then the R&D and then the outcomes that yield are even the precision, though it is giving at a higher accuracy, comparatively text generated contents and then the precisions are more than the image. Okay, so that we need to agree the reality. But it's not just it will give something fraudulent or this thing, but when you do a comparison between text or a image, text outcomes takes the precedence. Okay. Do you think Gen can help reduce waiting times in hospitals? How? Yes. Okay. Now, how? In the sense, um, any level wherein that involves human intervention, and then there is a fixed set of a process that is followed in a hospital. Okay, each and every hospital has got a different set of approval levels and all those things. So one generalized solution cannot provide cannot be a remediation for all of the hospitals or all of the healthcare industries. Okay, so but then we can do a personalized solution for each of, say, if it's an Apollo, that's a franchise, right? So everywhere around the Chennai, or like in any big cities, they are having branches and then the hospital. So across those domains, if you are going to create some sort of AI solutions, then in that case, we will have access to their data, to their patients and all those things, right? So in that case, definitely we can reduce the process that they are maintaining. Now people say, when it comes to automated process can be done even with the existing solutions. Let it be any technology, that need not be AI technology, but wherever there is an intelligence that comes into picture, like decision making and all those things, definitely AI comes into picture. And yes, it helps in reducing the waiting times in hospital. Definitely, yes. Okay, so imagine a world where you just straight away just give your all your prescription details there, and then and then you wait in a queue. So some other way, all your internal bills and then everything processed. Finally, you are one of your in other after some 5 queues or so, some other person can come and then give you the medicine alone. That should be the case. Okay, how the payment done, and then in what way that has been done, and all those things we may not be in a position to decide, or we need not think. Okay, that can happen because all those process can be automated, and those decision making that AI can do. Uh, what role can GenAI play in helping rural or remote patients? Okay. Uh, quality of treatment. Okay. Now, at this point of stage, rural and then the rural, I will split it into two: rural and then the remote. Okay. Remote patients, it is doable because if a person is in Chennai and if a person is in US, say example, if the doctor is in US and the patient is in Chennai, and the one more surgeon is there in Chennai but the expert is in US, so what he can do is that he can set up the precision coordinates, or where he has to cut or do, and all those coordinates he can mention through the AI solution, and robot will be connected to that AI solution. So accordingly, this a person who is doing the surgery, he will not even think what he has to do, which precision he has to do, but then he will follow what the robot is going to do. He will take help of that. He will just follow the instructions, and then he will be a kind of caretaker, and the person who is supporting there. Okay, so in that way, in the healthcare, remote patients thing can be addressed, problems can be addressed, but then when it comes to rural people, say medicines, and then healthcare systems are always costly. So thing is that more on this AI solution should come in a government controlled hospital, and that has to come in the minimum cost with the quality treatment. Always technology can assure the quality, but when we adapt the quality, it doesn't comes in the free of cost, right? So though it reduces the doctors, and then the agent is doing and all those things, but uh, ultimately there should be these LLM should operate, and there's a lot of installations, and to install all those machineries and all those things, along with the Gen AI powered stuff, it is quite economic factor. So when it comes to rural, at this point of time, we I would even accept that the AI solution may be with quality, but it is not an affordable solution or service to the rural people. So that is something that needs a lot of factors to be taken care, a lot of industries to work together to. But technically, if that can be done to the rural people, yes. So there should be a standardized way, and then the kind of NGOs, and then the non-profitable institutions should adopt this, so that there'll be a quality of service to the rural people. Can you explain about synthetic data generation in AI healthcare? Okay. So basically, these synthetic data are what? So when we train these data, right now, we split up these data into three forms. One is that your actual, and your training, and then your test data. Okay. Um, so while you are training this data, right? Say example, you have some 10 billion records of healthcare data, right? So in that, there's always a kind of 1:2:1, or there's a ratio, that is how much percentage that it has to go for a test, how much it has to go for a whatever the data that we are taking it as actual, and what is the pre-trained. Pre-trained is something minimal scope. Okay, so for your initial R&D purpose, you will do that. So that could be your synthetic data, depending upon your a previous history, that public available data of your patients, that is allowed data that it can take, and accordingly you can play around, and then train the LLM and then come up with a solution. But can that be used as an actual? No. Okay, why? Because these synthetic data are dangerous when it comes to realistic. So you have to go with the actual data of whatever that you'll have to pick it up and then curate the data as per the personalized needs and then do that. Okay, so synthetic data generation, yeah, whatever the data that is accessible to you, healthcare data, that you can generate, that you can cook up, and then that you can use, that you can collate from the reliable and then the accessible source. Those are all the kind of synthetic data that you can use. Okay, but that should be used at the prelim state, not at your treatment end or at the diagnosis end. Okay, any other? What are all the current challenges in adapting generative AI in healthcare system? Okay, so as we toll, right? So healthcare has got a lot of pain points, but when it comes to industry, right, most of the data is like so private, because it's all relevant to the people. So lot of the industries are not even interested in adapting the A. Okay, why? Because of the security reasons, and a lot of even cases. See, though we adopt a lot of principles and then apply all of the techniques, I insist that still there are security concerns, because there could be a breach. Though we enforce that, uh, the intruders are everywhere, and then they can hack up the data like anything. So for the security reasons, even lot of the industries or the domains in the healthcare are not adopting the Gen AI, and then they are not even ready to pick up the solutions now. But now it is taking priority. So what are the other ways that we can make them adopt is that having a private VPC or their own thing, and then doing that. But still, when it comes to cost factors and all those things are there, then solution wise, correctness and then the trust is something we can't guarantee. We can't see, though I always insist that go for AI and then use that, because one day everything will be replaced by AI. But then until we reach the stage, not all the AI solutions are correct. Okay, so there's always a human intervention is required. So until unless uh, the domain experts feel or see a value in that, right? Some of the things that even can't even automate, or there could be a lot of manual interventions in there. Example, admitting or the hospitalization, or some of the administrative process wherein there could be it could be even more complicated, and then it won't have a data access even outside. Okay, so those are all the places we can't even adapt, and then they can't even make use of that. So those challenges are even there. Okay, so for your question, challenges are there in terms of the security, accessibility, and the mindset, and also the trust. Since they deal with the people, they are right, because customers who give the job and then who deal with this industry, we should consider them as a right, because ultimately the reputation belongs to them. So we value them ethically. So Those are all the challenges in adopting the Gen AI in the healthcare systems. Actually, what would be your suggestions on platforms where the students can use for developing Gen AI for various sectors, including healthcare, general manufacturing, image generation? Okay. Okay. So, wherever that is needed, but to me, why I personally believe this healthcare industry is because everywhere we are seeing that AI is going to replace human, and what happens it taking so many job outs and then all those things, right? Now, me as an architect, whenever we design, or whenever we prefer an industry, uh, we always try to consider what are all the pain points that is really need to be addressed through A. Okay. Now it's because I know to provide solution in A. I should not override some system that is that is not even a candidate for an A. Okay. So in that case, healthcare is a candidate wherein there needs these kind of precision based problems. Okay, and then quality based problem. Okay, so wherein there is a more prone to mistakes, so there and all we should use, but what are the other areas that we should not use is that whatever that is ongoing, that is there, example nursing, or it's not like that I will put a AI solution, and then I will ask a robo and then do the nursing, right? What if at times the program can go wrong, and then it can even stop if the person is coughing, and then it has lifted it with it and it does not put the person back, right? So that is something a wrong solution. So now, if that is going to be a healthcare, in whatever the way that it is going to address the people pain point, then those are all my candidates. So I would even say that healthcare, only these areas we can focus, and rest of the areas we should not focus. But if you consider this manufacturing domain and all those things, people struggle a lot, right, in terms of a mechanical job, or in terms of counting, or in terms of inventory management, or in terms of I worked in the oil and gas thing even, so wherein there's a thumping process done to find a oil resource. Okay, so in those scenarios, what they will do is that they will go plant some sensors, and then do lot of people will be there on the site to monitor, then and there they will collect the data, they will input and then do all those things. So but and those areas are, they will do it in the desert areas, and wherein a lot of wild animals like bears are they are more prone to these kind of attacks. Okay, so now that will be the candidate. We will provide the AI solutions wherein we just go plant, and then the census there, then let it monitor, let it simulate, and then provide these data to me. And once in a year we will go and then refill the census back, and then we will come. Okay, rest of the things will be a desk job to me, so that I will not invest people there, and then so wherein it will help the human being is the industries that we need to focus. So let that be any platform or any industry. In what way that the best use of the intelligence can be made use of that, we should do. Hope that is so elaborative, but then somehow it would have answered it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your patience in replying all the questions, and it really helps us to improve our knowledge. So I sincerely thank our eminent speaker, Ms. S. Vani Mohan, ma'am, for the thoughtful, provoking session on exploring generative AI in healthcare. Your insight on how AI can revolutionize diagnosis, treatment, and patient support have given us a deeper understanding of its immense potential. The way you connected technology with real world healthcare applications was truly inspiring. On behalf of all the participants, I express our heartfelt gratitude for sharing your knowledge and speaking new perspectives in this vital field. Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants,
Thank
we
you.
wish to hear some feedback from your side. If anyone wish to share, you can feel free to share it now.
So thank you all, but this is putting together to me is a very different forum apart from the clients and then the day-to-day business. So thanks for giving me the opportunity, the faculty and then the team. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
precious
ma'am.
time, ma'am.
Not
Dear
even thank you, ma'am.
participants,
Pardon?
important announcements. According to receive the FDP participation certificate, maintaining 80% of attendance is mandatory. Scoring 70% of marks in the final day assessment in the ATAL portal, and also mark your attendance and feedback as soon as possible. The link will be disabled at 9:45 p.m. at most. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Good night. Have a nice week.